Your Majesty, Sha Zhang is here.
I found it!
My lady. Shaoli, I want you to send a bowl of the lily soup I personally made to His Majesty at once.
Your Majesty.
What do you think?
There is just one thing I don't understand. It's that poison His Majesty has mentioned before, if I'm not mistaken. How is it connected to that rebel Lin Shu?
What's so hard to understand? It's a peculiar poison. Both raging flame and a blizzard is needed. But there is another indispensable element, and that is the snow bug of Melee Mountain.
But that is impossible to acquire.
Is it really? When indeed a person who suffered a poison of bitter flame managed to come to the capital of Liang, and in just a matter of 2 years he has caused a political upheaval, drastically changing the situation. Now, do you still think it's a coincidence?
No, I was simply confused, Your Majesty. That is just mere speculation. It'd be difficult to prove.
We have people in the Imperial Library, and they will start to talk. Before we can be certain, Meichangsu mustn't hear of this.
I will send an Imperial edict to close the library. No one else can enter or leave.
No. Not just the Imperial Library. Send an edict to summon Meichangsu to the palace.
Of course.
Your Majesty, the noble consort has sent some lily bulb soup to you to ease the summer heat.
Take it away.
At once.
Don't leave. Send her in.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Hurry it up!
My respects to Your Majesty.
It is such a hot day. Noble Consort Jing is so considerate. I want you to tell her ladyship. Master Su must never enter the palace.
I shall take my leave.
Your Majesty.
Where is Mengqi now?
Commander Meng should still be at home, I suppose.
Send an Imperial edict to the Imperial Guard Commander's office at once.
Commander Meng.
What is it?
An edict from His Majesty.
I'm ready to hear it.
The Emperor recognizes the Commander's services to him. You will be granted 3 days of leave. You are thus exempt from entering the palace.
I accept it.
Are you sure about this?
Yes, I'm sure.
Eunuch Gao has informed me that Master Su must not set foot in the palace. And this order is to be enforced without reservation.
He also lowered his voice, as if he was afraid His Majesty might hear him.
Send Shaolinji to the palace at once, and ask the Crown Prince to stop Master Su!
At once.
Cha! Ta!
I heard you received an edict summoning you to the palace.
Yes.
The old man hasn't attended to court affairs for many ages. Why do you think to see a mere commoner like you right now?
I find it strange too. I can't think of a reason. But the Imperial edict was specific in summoning me. Oh, I can't defy it, can't I? But I'm a simple commoner anyway. I don't think he will have an executioner waiting to ambush me in the palace. But don't worry. I will still be careful.
Mother won't send me a message. Master Su must be in danger. I want you to stop him, even if you must pursue him in the palace walls.
At once.
Ta!
Ta! Ta! Whoa! Master Su! Master Su mustn't enter the palace. You have to catch him. Don't let him enter the palace. Of course. Go to Prince Mu's manor and inform Lady Nihuang. Whoa! Where's Master Su?
He's entered the palace.
He has entered the palace?
Sucha pays his respects. To your majesty.
Go to him.
Of course.
Roll up his sleeves and collar. And this collar.
What is your Highness looking for?
Master Su, what are your intentions for coming to the capital?
I believe I have great talent. If I can't put it to good use here, where else can I go?
Shajang told me you are an old acquaintance of Prince Qi. What do you have to say to this?
I believe your Majesty should know best. If there's some truth to that.
Your Highness,
Why are you here, Commander Meng?
I received an edict just this morning, forcing me to take leave. His Majesty has already given the duty to defend the capital to Commander Chai.
Our top priority now is to find out why Master Su has been summoned to the palace, and whether or not he's in danger.
Your Highness! Your Highness! Your Highness, I bear news from the palace. The Imperial Palace Army took charge of Master Su as soon as he set foot in the palace. That's all.
Both Wei Jing's prison break and Prince Yu's rebellion has been finalized now. That leaves one question. What does His Majesty want to find out from Master Su? Gao Zhan,
Your Grace.
send an edict to the Eastern Palace and summon the Crown Prince. Make him go to Yangju Palace at once.
Yes, Your Excellency.
He wishes to see me?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Very well.
Why does he wish to see you at this time?
Detaining Master Su, controlling the palace defenses, summoning me to the palace. I sense something's afoot here.
With Master Su now a prisoner, I sense they prepared a trap.
Master Su has given all for you. Are you willing to fight for him, my Lord Crown Prince?
So my lady has come to persuade me to take up arms?
Yes. The palace, the House of Mu, and the capital patrols are of great help to us in starting a rebellion. When he hears of a rebellion, the Emperor gets suspicious. So we shall give him one.
Good. Now with you leading the troop outside, I shouldn't worry.
What do you mean? Will you still go to the palace?
After learning what His Majesty has done, I do not believe he means to ambush and kill me now. If we stage a rebellion immediately, what about Mother and Master Su? They are unprotected. The only option I have is to go to the palace as decreed and get a hold of Mother and Master Su. That way they are under my protection.
But the palace is heavily guarded. If we're unable to send you a message, how will we know if you're safe?
Rebel. If we aren't out by midday, that's when you'll know. My respects to you, Your Majesty. You may rise. Thank you, Father. I've come as you decreed. What can I do for you? Stand aside and wait. I will. Your Majesty, don't rush. There is one more.
Enter!
I, Sha Zhang, pay my respects to your majesty. Along with the Crown Prince, Your Highness.
Your Majesty, why is this rebel in the palace? There's a saying that a dying man will speak of the truth. Shajang is sentenced to death, but is willing to inform me of traitors among our midst. I think there's no harm in hearing him out. Who could it be? Shajang, tell us what you have to say. You may speak.
Your Majesty, I am undeniably a criminal. I won't attempt to justify myself, but you should know that this man has committed a greater crime.
This man whom you speak of, tell me the identity of this man.
Him! He's the Qian rebel who conspired with the eldest prince to rebel, and they both narrowly escaped back then. With the son of Commander General Lin Shi, General of Qiu Battalion, Lin Shu.
Director Sha won't stop until his shocking words have achieved their goal.
Gather the troops in the Eastern Palace and the capital patrols immediately. Then wait for my orders.
Yes, sir!
I'll get going.
Crown Prince, do you have anything to say in your defense?
You question this, Your Majesty? You saw Lin Shu as he grew up. Or have you forgotten?
Do you know of the poison of the bitter flame? Made of raging flames and a bitter cold. It engulfs the entire body and it's mixed with many snowbugs from Mailing Mountain. It completely changes the appearance of the victim.
You may believe such claims, Your Majesty, but I do not. It's ridiculous.
Jingyan, are you telling me the truth? That you're unaware of this?
I don't believe it.
Your Highness has washed his hands well indeed. Now, if you really didn't believe that this man was Lin Shu, why did you believe that he was truly sincere in helping you strategize to ascend to the seat of the Eastern Palace in the first place?
I choose you. Your Highness, Prince Jade.
The mystical scholar. With him, the world is surely yours. When you first arrived in the capital, the deposed Crown Prince and Prince Yu were at the height of their influence. If you're not Lin Shu, why would you bother casting your advantages aside? And instead you choose to put all your efforts into serving this insignificant prince?
So Director Sha is here to finally put an end to things.
My lady!
Are our troops assembled?
They all stand ready to do your bidding.
Worry not, my lady. Everyone in the House of Mu will listen to you, without question.
We wait till midday.
Yes! Your Majesty, since May of Jiangsu arrived in the capital, every single incident in the capital has only served to benefit His Highness Prince Jing. He has risen steadily from an out-of-favor single-rank prince to a 7-pearl prince and now becomes the Crown Prince instantly. The deposed Crown Prince and Prince Yu fought each other tooth and nail and have failed miserably in the end. One was deposed and exiled while the other...
And what about the other? Did I force him to stage a rebellion then? Why was the former Crown Prince deposed? How did Prince Yu meet his doom? Your Majesty knows of this. Regardless of what Shajang said, using Weicheng to frame Prince Jing is a fact. Prince Yu staging an armed rebellion against Mount Jiwan. is also a proven fact. When your majesty was besieged in the hunting palace, all of our men were lost or endangered. Who risked his life to come to their rescue and escorted you back to the capital? But now, the blood in the palace has yet to dry at this time. And Shajang, the instigator of the rebellion, armed with unofficial records, is accusing the crown prince without proof. Isn't your majesty afraid that the aggrieved souls who died at Mount Jiwan would be disappointed?
I'm more than familiar with Master Su's sharp and verbose skills. You're right. We can stick to our own version of the incidents that have occurred in the capital. But there's one thing you can never deny. The poison of the bitter flame in your body and its apparent effects. Your Majesty, I've already escaped from the Imperial prison. If I didn't care for your Majesty, would I risk my life to appear before you and burn many bridges as I do now?
Shajang does have a point here. Since he's already escaped, why would he stake his life if his accounts are fiction? Surely he's telling the truth.
Your Majesty's truly wise. The reason why Lin Shu and I became enemies back then was because I helped your Majesty to handle the Qian rebellion. It comes as no surprise that the only thing he wanted to do was to simply see me dead. Xuanxing Bureau did act inappropriately, giving Lin Shu the necessary leverage. But despite his so-called sophistry, the facts are simply undeniable. Lin Shu. The poison of the bitter flame in your body will trigger unique changes to your pulse, resulting in a clash of cold and heat with erratic symptoms. Do you dare allow the Imperial physician to take your pulse in front of His Majesty to see if it is truly different from that of normal people? Or would you rather choose to spare us all the trouble and honestly admit to His Majesty now who you really are?
All right. I admit I am Lin Shu.
Master Lin, aren't you even a bit anxious?
I am. How can I not be anxious? The smartest people I know are in the palace. This doesn't help. All we can do now is hope that Meichangsu can save himself with his wit and eloquence. But if he somehow fails...
What should we do?
Just concede. Let's hope that they can at least hold on till midday.
When I say I'm Lin Shu, does your majesty really believe me? Regardless of what I've admitted, or to what Shajang has accused me of, those are just mere words. There's no concrete proof of all of it. Now, if your majesty wants to have a physician check my pulse, then summon him. But whatever the outcome of it may be, it is meaningless.
Meaningless?
Do think about it. If the symptoms of my body are really erratic, is that really enough to prove I'm Lin Shu? Now let's say it's found that my pulse is normal. Can this really prove that I'm not Lin Shu? It's hard to determine. So ultimately, Shajang just wants to save his own skin. And your majesty is simply looking for assurance.
He is highly skilled in sophistry. It is all recorded in the ancient texts. This is no mere nonsense.
Based on what you said, Lin Shu is hell-bent on revenge. If that is so, how could His Majesty have possibly left Mount Jiwan alive and unscathed? During that time, the military was with Prince Jing. Wouldn't it have been simpler if he delayed his return slightly, waited for Prince Yu to kill the Emperor, and came on time to quell the rebel army? Didn't your majesty entertain such suspicions when you were at the hunting palace back then?
Nonsense. I was never suspicious of Jingyan. Not one bit. If that is so, Why did you summon us here today? For this confrontation? Are you looking to find a speck of proof by all means and ways just so you can have your way here? And accuse Master Su of being Linshu? I simply wanted to find out the truth. But how? Two completely different people. Some recorded information in a pulse? It's all nothing but pure nonsense! They can never be proven, nor can they be overturned. What Xiaozhang is doing now is sow the seeds of suspicion in my unwitting father's heart before he learns the truth and dies.
It would appear that Director Shaw does know Your Majesty, and is using his knowledge to his advantage. Commander Meng, aren't you on leave today? Why are you here?
Brother Cha, you've served His Majesty for as long as I have, and you already know as much as I do. This is the closest to Yangju Palace. Do you still need to ask me what I'm doing in this place?
His Majesty is having a chat with His Highness the Crown Prince at the Yangju Palace.
Yes, it's for the best.
Your Majesty, this man is undoubtedly the rebel Linshu. I'm willing to guarantee that fact with my life.
With your life? Do you think you'll live just because you've escaped the Imperial prison? Isn't the reason why you're lingering in the capital is because of that dragnet in wait outside and you can't escape?
Your Majesty, I've already admitted I'm Linshu. There's nothing more to investigate. Just deal with me as if I were Linshu. Should this cause a rift in your relationship with the Crown Prince, Xiaozhang would be the sole beneficiary. By the way, do you really intend to bring Prince Shan back from Shanchua, as Gongshi Chen has requested of you?
Your Majesty!
Your Majesty.
Inciting such trouble time and again! Abomination!
Your Majesty! Everything I've said here is nothing but the truth!
I'm tired. This rebel fool will be dealt with by the Crown Prince. Xiaozhang's crime shall be decided by the law. It's best that it be handled by the Ministry of Justice. Do as he says.
You are to blame! Ah!
Committing murder before His Majesty is an abomination!
Your Majesty! I'd rather you kill me than let the wrong man go! Even if it's just a slim possibility, I'm begging you, please take that chance, Your Majesty!
Take Xiaozhang away.
Yes, sir! Your Majesty! Kill me right now! Don't let the wrong man go, Your Majesty! Your Majesty, please reconsider!
Brother-chan.
Oh. Your Majesty.
I believe the perfect time is finally upon us now. You know what to do. Go.
At once.
Jingyan, you came in a hurry today. I suppose you have yet to pay respects to your mother. You and I are finished here. You should go see her now.
Your Majesty, what happened today was only between Shajong and me. Master Su was just dragged into this mess, so it is only right that I escort him from the palace. I think Mother won't mind if she waits for a while.
Well, Master Su was implicated for no reason. For this, I apologize. I will have someone escort you out of the palace. I'll also have some wine prepared to help Master Su get over this. Don't worry. I will get someone to escort Master Su from the palace. You go about your business.
Your Majesty. Your Majesty!
I told you! I will get someone to escort him from the palace, so don't bother! Remember, you're the Crown Prince of the Eastern Palace, the future Emperor. You can't be as willful as you were in the past, acting so blindly and rashly, without a sense of priority. Remember that!
Is it really priority? Or discerning what's right?
What's this? You've just become Crown Prince. And you no longer want to listen to me, your father? Huh?
Your Majesty, the wine is now ready. This one is for Master Su.
Your Majesty. What is this wine for?
You are reckless and easily controlled. I am doing this for your own good. I do this because I care. And to ensure that there is no animosity between you and I anymore, son. To maintain harmony for us. Understand?
Your Majesty, I don't understand.
I understand Your Majesty's intention. You can't completely trust Shajong's words, but you'd rather kill the wrong man than let him go. Your Majesty means for me to die here, than to avoid trouble later.
Is that your true intention?
Yes. Jing'an!
Your Majesty appointed me as prince, and I am to manage court affairs. I have always thought that you really trusted me, and entrusted to me the whole country. I didn't realize that utter nonsense spouted by a convicted rebel would cause such suspicions. What happened today was between Xiaojing and myself only. Master Su shouldn't be involved. Now, if you really feel so uneasy about it, punish me instead.
But he is nothing but a mere commoner. What is it you want?
I've always done things this way. I won't let others suffer for me.
Jing'an!
You all right? Let's go.
I've always done things this way. I won't let others suffer for me.
Jing'an!
My lady! My lady! My lady, the Crown Prince and Master Su have already left the palace.
That is wonderful news.
Don't worry about anything else. I'll think of a way to get you out very soon, Your Highness. Your Highness! Your Grace! My liege! Xiao Jingyan, don't you dare go further! Jingyan, don't be afraid.